So here I have taken some guava for the guava stew. I have de-seeded and cut them into strips, and I'm going to boil this for about 5 minutes. So to this guava which is boiling, I'm going to add some cinnamon and cardamom, and I'm just going to let it boil for 5 minutes. So the guavas are boiling. To that I'm going to add half a cup of sugar and let it continue to boil for another 10 minutes until the guavas are nice and soft and the syrup gets a little thicker. The water reduces and the syrup gets a little thicker. So the syrup is getting thickened, but I feel the guavas are getting more softer. So I'm going to take out the pieces of guava and let the syrup thicken up a bit. So once the syrup is thickened up, I will add the guava back because the guavas are getting very pulpy, so I don't want that. I want the pieces. So I'm going to remove the guavas and keep it aside till my syrup reduces a little bit. So I think it's enough now. I'm going to add back, let it stay here for 2 minutes, and I'm going to switch off the flame. The syrup is also reduced and this is enough. So the guava and the syrup has come to a rolling boil. So I'm going to just switch off the flame and leave it in this. Let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes till it is cool. So let's start making the custard for the guava stew. So I've taken less than half a cup of milk. This is from the 500 ml of milk that I'm taking for the custard. To that I'm going to add, I want a little thicker custard, so I'm going to add about 4 heaped teaspoons of custard powder. I have kept the milk to boil, 500 ml of milk, out of which I have removed about 100 ml to mix this custard. So my custard is mixed well. So the milk is nearly coming to a boil. This is 500 ml of milk. To that I'm going to add this custard powder mix that I have. So in it goes. And keep stirring it on slow flame. Now we have already put sugar in the guava stew, right? When we stewed up the guavas. So I'm going to put very little sugar in the custard because I don't want it too sweet. The gas is on very slow flame. Keep continuously stirring because this is thick custard. Stir it for 2 to 3 minutes. So the custard is done. You can see. Okay, so now as I told you, we had already added sugar to the stew. So I'm not going to add too much sugar to the custard because custard is served with stew. But I'm going to switch off the flame and I'm going to sprinkle sugar on the top. That is about 2 teaspoons. So that sprinkling sugar on the top doesn't allow that cream-like thing to form. So I will keep this like this, let it get cool. So the stew, the guavas that we boiled Oh, the aroma of cinnamon and guava is intoxicating. And you can see the syrup is quite thick. The guavas are soft and nice. And so is my custard. I'm going to let both cool at room temperature and then put it in the fridge for some time and then plate it out. So the custard is set well. So let's plate it out for us to taste. So you put a little custard below. The custard is nice and thick. And I will add a little bit of the guava stew that I have made. Oh, the flavor of the guava is, the aroma is really, really tempting. And to top it, you can also add some roasted almonds. So here your guava stew is ready. Enjoy! Gauva stew. For the recipe, check the link. Enjoy!